as 5%, that's your 0.05, and Bolt distribution coefficient that D is given as your 0.045, and it want to calculate the enrichment factor as CL by C0. So for batch melting, what is the formula? So for batch melting, the formula is CL by C0 equals to 1 by D plus F into 1 minus D. So here we need to calculate the CL by C0 value, right? So 1 by 0.045 plus 0.05, 1 minus 0.045. So it will be 1 by 0.05, 1 minus 0.045 into 0.045, 0.002148. It will be around 46. Huh? Okay, it's 9.5 now. You did any mistakes? D is given as 0.05, 1 minus 0.045 into 0.05 plus 0.045, 0.092, sorry, 0.09275. It should be 10.78. To CL by C0 value, that's your enrichment factor. Remember that CL by C0 is your enrichment factor. That's we found that as 10.78. Okay, so now this question, I don't think they will ask this type of question, but it may be help you in future. So let's go through it. Consider a partial melting of garnet periodite consisting for rock. The abundances are 55.5%, 55% for olivine, 20% for OPX, 15 CPX, and 10% for garnet. So during early stage of partial melting, 1%. Okay, the F is given as 0.01. The minerals which enter into the melt, that means this is the weight proportion of mineral in melt. That is given as 12.2% of olivine, 22.2% of CPX, 44.4% for CPX, and 22.2% of garnet. So the rocks contain 2000 ppm Ni. That means C0 is given as 2000 ppm. Then calculate the concentration of Ni in the melt. It want to calculate the Cl value. And Kd values are given for olivine is 10, for OPX is 4, for CPX is 2, and for garnet is 4. So if the question is lengthy, try to do in tabular form. Okay. So I'm writing the whole the mineral phases here, which minerals are basically present. These are basically olivine. Olivine is present. OPX is present. CPX is present along with garnet is also present. Okay, and here model here like abundances for rock is also given. That is weight proportion of mineral rock. That is for olivine it's given as 55 means 0.55, 0.20, 0.15, and 0.10. Weight proportion in mineral in melt is given as weight proportion of mineral in melt. Weight proportion of mineral in melt is given as 12.2, that is sorry 0.122, 0.222, 0.444, and 0.222. Okay, teacher. And then Kd value is given as here 10, 4, 2, and 4. Okay. So now, like, what is the formula for non-modal melting? I told you, for non-modal batch melting, for non-modal batch melting, the formula is Cl by C0 equals to 1 by D plus F into 1 minus P. Here D is your Bulk distribution coefficient for modal melting. Bulk distribution coefficient for modal, and for non-modal that's your P. Bulk distribution coefficient for non-modal. Coefficient for non-modal melting. So we need to find out the both of two value. Okay. So how to find out the D value? You need to multiply this weight proportion of mineral in rock into this Kd value. Then we will get the value of D. Then after finding the D value, you need to multiply the weight proportion of mineral in melt into this Kd value. It will give you the bulk distribution of non-modal melting, that is for your P. And after calculating both of the values like D and P, put the value in the formula and you will get the answer. Okay. So let's calculate the D value first. It want to calculate for Ni na. So DNi would be, you know what is the formula of D? That's KDI into Xi. So I'm directly doing the numerical. Okay, 0.55 into 10 plus 0.20 into 4 plus 0.15 into 2 plus 0.10 into 4. So it will give you around 7. So we calculated D value as 7. So what will the P value? We will multiply the weight proportion of mineral melt with the Kd values, and then 0.122 into 10 plus 0.222 into 4 plus 0.444 into 2 plus 0.222 into 4. So it will come around 3.844. Okay, 884. So now we got the two values. So let's put this value in the formula, and C0 is given as 2000 ppm. Okay, so we know that your CL by C0 equals to 1 by D plus F into 1 minus P. Then CL would be CL Ni. Okay, it's asking for Ni na. 2000 divided by D is given now. Sorry, D is we calculated 7 plus F is given as 0.01 into 1 minus P is calculated as 3.884. 3.884. So it will 2000 divided by 6.97. So answer will be 286.89 ppm. So this is for your non-modal melting. I don't think they will give you this type of question, but don't go through it right now, but it will help you in your get time. Okay, so remember this concept. How to find out for your non-modal melting CL value or C0 value. Okay, so this question this is not in your syllabus, I guess. This is beyond your syllabus, and this type of question will not came in your exam. This for fractional. This is the formula of fractional melting. Okay. So this will be doing a similar way like the previous one. So a garnet leclerc mantle sources contain 10 ppm of SR and 20 ppm Ni. So here two trace elements are given. Before there is one trace element given for Ni. Here there are two trace elements are given, that is SR and Ni. So for C0, okay. So here C0 SR is given as C0 SR is given as 10 ppm and C0 Ni is given as 2000 ppm. Okay. The mineralogical composition of the source is olivine 40, cyanopyrogen 30, orthopyrogen 20, and garnet 10%. Okay. So what are the mineral phases are here? Okay, we'll directly calculate the D value. Okay, we don't write because it will not go so lengthy. So what will the SR Ni concentration? It is asking the what will be the SR and Ni concentration in the basaltic melt, means Cl SR and Cl Ni and CS SR and CS Ni. Okay, like I will not I did not tell you before what is the formula of residue, concentration of residue. Okay, so like the formula of concentration of residue, that is Cl into D. Cr equals to Cl into D. Cl is the concentration of residue. Okay, so for that you need to find out the Cl value first. Okay, so let's do this. First we need to calculate the D value. Here two are given now. Like there are two KD values are given for Ni and for Sr. So for we are calculating for Ni first. Sorry, for Sr first. So these are the Sr KD values, that is 0.005, but the abundance is the same, that is for olivine, that's 0.4 into 0.005, 0.4 into 0.005 plus 0.3 into 0.1, and then 0.2 into 0.01, 0.01, and then 0.1 into 0.001. So for Sr, the wall distribution coefficient is 0.034, and let's calculate similarly for Ni. So what is the DNI? 0.4 into the KD values are Ni are 12 into 12 plus 0.3 into 2 plus 0.2 into 4. The next one is 0, na? 0. So it will be come around here 6.2. And here F is given as here uh, for Sr, the F is given as 5%. F for Sr is given as 5, that is 0.05. For Ni, the F is given as 10, that is 0.1. Okay, so let's calculate the Cl value first. So we are calculating the Cl value for Sr first. Okay, for Sr, that is strontium, F is here 0.05. Okay, and D is here 0.034. So like for fractional crystallization, sorry, fractional melting, I told you a formula. It is given for fractional melting now. This question is about the fractional melting. You can see here it is saying for fractional melting. Okay, so for fractional melting the formula is Cl by C0 equals to 1 by D into 1 minus F into 1 by D minus 1. Okay, so 1 by 0.034 into 1 minus 0.05 into 1 by 0.034 minus 1. So 1 by 1.0.03, that it will be here 0.9, 1 by 0.034 into 0.95. If we solve that one, that will 28.41. So it will come around here, and ClSr will be into C0 into 0.2329 divided by 0.034. So 10 into 6.850. So it will come around, ClSr will come around here 68.50 ppm. Okay, so we got the Cl value for Sr, that is 68.50 ppm. Then what should be the Cr value, residue value? I told you that is basically Cl into D, na? So Cl we got that 68.50 ppm into D we got that 0.034. So it will come around here 2.33. So that will be done similarly for Ni. Okay, so So if you want to calculate, then you will like follow the same pattern, the answer will become. So remember that for fractional melting, the formula is Cl by C0 equals to 1 by D into 1 by F to the power 1 by D minus 1. Okay, this is the formula. Okay, let's move to the next one. Calculate the U anomaly, that is U by U star, if the values of Un, so given values, that is Un is given as here 0.251 and Smn is given as 0.205 and GD that is given as 0.308. Okay, so there is a formula of your U anomaly, it's U by U star. We know that U by U star, that is U anomaly, is equals to U by Sm into GD root over. This is the formula. Okay, and if the value of U anomaly is less than 0.95, that is like having negative U anomaly. If the value is greater than 0.95, that is, so if the value is greater than 1.05, that is U positive U anomaly. If the value is less than 0.95, that's negative U anomaly. Okay, so Un value is given as 0.251 divided by 0.205 into 0.308. So 0.251 divided by 0.205 into 0.308. 0.251 divided by, so the answer will be 0.99. 0.998, and the value is basically what, greater than 0.95 or less than 0.95? It's greater than, sorry, it's greater than less than 0. Okay, it is greater than 1, no? Sorry, it's less than 1, no? So it will be negative 1 only. Okay, the conditions are if U by U star is less than 0.95, it will be positive 1 only. If U by U star is greater than 1.05, it is, hey, it's a negative 1 only. Sorry, it's a negative 1 only. It's greater than, then it's a positive 1 only. Okay, like which mineral is shows E1 only? That's it, plagioclase, na? It is showing your anomaly, right? It's your U. Plagioclase is showing your positive anomaly in the crystal phase. In melt is showing negative anomaly. It's a positive one only. That was shown by plagioclase. Rest of U, like if you exclude U or are behaving in the same pattern. In case of your plagioclase, okay. Okay, let's move to the next one. Calculate the NDT value of contracting having ND by ND sample. Sample and Chur values are given here, and it wants to calculate the Chur contracting uniform reservoir value. So there is a formula. So what are the givens here? The sample value is given as 0.520, and the contractive value is given as, so it is the Chur value is given as 0.518, and it wants to calculate the ENDT by 2. That's a sample by standard, sorry, sample by Chur minus 1 into 10 to the power 4. ND by ND sample divided by ND by ND 2 minus 1 into 10 to the power 4. So 0.5205 divided by 0.518 minus 1 into 10 to the power 4. So it will be 0.003861 into 10 to the power 4 So it will be come around here 38.61. Okay, this will be a value of ENT. Remember the formula. They may ask, this is the formula. So let's move to the next one. The value of EH corresponding to the upper limit of natural surface aqueous environment at pH 8. So here gauge like pH is given, that's it H. It want to calculate the EH value. So there is a relationship among pH and EH. We know that EH equals to 1.23 minus 0.059 pH. So 1.23 minus 0.059 into 8. So 1.23 minus 0.413. So the answer will be 0.817. So remember that the EH is basically 1.23 minus 0.059. This is the formula. Okay. Let's move to the next one. If Fe2 plus is basically giving Fe3 plus plus E is an electron. Here one electron is like emitting. That means N equal to 1 here. Okay. And E0 is 0.77 volt and EH is 0.6 volt. K is Fe3 plus by Fe2 plus. And the basic equation used to like EH, the formula is also given here. So let's write all the given first. Here E0 value is given as 0.77 volt and EH value is given as 0.6 volt, and they gave the formula that is EH equals to E0 plus 0.059 by N log K, and they gave the K value as Fe3 plus by Fe2 plus, but they asked the value of Fe2 plus by Fe3 plus, means they are asking the log value of, that means they are asking 1 by K na. Yeah, they are asking 1 by K. Yeah, they're asking 1 by K value. Okay, because K is basically Fe3 plus by Fe2 plus. They're asking Fe2 plus by Fe3 plus. Means we need to calculate the K first, then we will just inverse it, then we'll get the answer. Everything is given here. So N, I told you here one electron is emitting, that means N is your 1. Here EH is 0.6 volt. E0 is given as 0.77 plus 0.059, 1 basically in log K. So I can write 0.059 log K equals to it.
Sir, 0.059 by 4.
4 by 4, it's 1 now.
Yeah, sorry, 1.
Yeah, so 0.6 minus 0.77 na. 6 minus 0.77 is 77 or 7, yeah, 77 na. It's a 0.17 minus 0.17 minus 0.17. So log K will be, log K means what? Log based on K, it will be minus 0.17 divided by 0.059 by 0.059 minus 2.8814 minus 2.8814. Now what will be the K? K would be 10 to the power minus 2.8814. If log 10 go to that side, so K would be 10 to the power 1.314 into 10 to the power minus 3. Like this is your Fe3 by, this value is your Fe3 plus by Fe2 plus, but we need the value of Fe2 plus by Fe3 plus na. Then it will be inverse. Then Fe2 plus by Fe3 plus will be the inverse of it only, that 1 by 1.314 into 10 to the power minus 3, right? So 1 by, it will be 760.94. 760.94 0.94. Okay, this will be your answer. So you don't need to remember this formula because I don't think this is in your syllabus, but they can ask anything. There is no syllabus for numerical, so they can ask from anyone. They can ask anything. Okay, so if you want to go through, then go, but I don't think they will ask such difficult questions. So let's move to the next one. A basal contain 10% of CO. CO is given as 10% and 327 ppm of SR. SR is given as 327 ppm. Calculate the CA by SR ratio. Okay. So here SR is given, but CA is not given. So we need to calculate the CA. So before calculate the CA in the basal, we need to calculate the CA in CaO. So what is the form weight of CA atomic number is 20 na. So weight of CA would be 40 na. Yeah, 40. And oxygen we know that 16. So CaO total weight is 56. So Ca in CaO will be amount of Ca in CaO. What will be the amount of Ca in CaO? That will be 40 by 56. 40 by 56. That will be your 0.7143. 0.7143. Now we got the Ca in CO, but we need Ca in basalt. So Ca in basalt would be into 10%. 0.7143 into 10% of CO is given, na? So into 10%. So into 10, it will be 7.148. 7.143 percentage. But here SR is given as ppm, so you can convert ppm into percentage, or you can convert percentage into like ppm. That's up to you. Okay, I'm converting percentage into ppm. So what will be 7.143 percentage in ppm? Someone please tell me. I explained the conversion before, so someone please let me know. 7.143% will be in ppm. What will be that value if I'm converting the percent into ppm? Hey, someone please tell here. We are not saying anything. Hello. Okay, so like first you have to like normalize it. 1.47 143 into 100 into ppm means 10 to the power 6. Okay, then we will got around 71420 7142030 71430 ppm. Okay, so now Ca by SR value, right? That is 71430 divided by SR is 327. Both are in ppm. It will cancel out. So the value will be common 7 it's around 218.40. The value will be coming on this. Okay, so this will be your answer. The next one, calculate the Ba by Ti ratio of a volcanic rock containing 300 ppm of Ba. So here B is given as 300 ppm and TiO2 of 3.5%, 50%. The GFW of Ti, GFW means the weight of Ti. Okay, that is nothing. Gram formula weight. That is basically weight. Okay, GFW Ti is 47.90 and equivalent weight of TiO2. That means molecular weight of TiO2. That's given as 79.90. So how to calculate like Ti and TiO2? 47 by 90 into 79.90. So Ti in TiO2 would be 47 by 90 into 79.90. 47 by 90 by 79.90. It will be on 0.594. Now Ti in the volcanic rock. What will be the amount of Ti in volcanic rock? That would be your 0.514 into 1.50%, right? So 1.50, sorry, 3.50. It would be around here 3.50 now. 0.5 into 3.50, it will be 2.09. 2.0979 percentage. So we need to calculate in ppm. So 2.0979 divided by 100 into 10 to the 6 ppm. So it will come around 4 na 20979 ppm. So it wants to calculate BA by TI na. BA is 300. So BA by TI would be 300 by 300 ppm divided by 20979 ppm. Okay. So it will come around here 0.0143. So let's move to the next one. So for doing this question, you need to know the like conversion factor of FeO to Fe2O3. I'll give you a table, okay? So let's write the given first. Here it want to calculate the FeO total and Fe2O3 total, okay? And FeO is given as 8.29 percentage and Fe2O3 is given as 2.05 percentage. For FeO total you need Fe2O3 and for Fe2O3 total you need FeO. So what is the formula of FeO total? That's first write the Fe2O3 weight of Fe2O3, that weight percentage of Fe2O3 plus weight percentage of FeO into conversion factor. Conversion factor, I will give you a table that will be like, that will simply here like we got what this 0.599 na. If we divide the what if we divide gram formula weight by equivalent weight, we will get the conversion factor, okay? So by that way we will calculate the conversion factor. So here weight of Fe2 which is given as 2.05 percentage into weight percentage of FeO is given as 8.29 percentage in, but remember that your conversion factor for FeO is 1.1113. This is your conversion factor, okay? If you solve this, it will come around 11.26 percentage. So the FeO total is 11.26%. Similarly, the Fe2O3 total would be weight percent of FeO plus weight percent of Fe3 into conversion factor. CF is your conversion factor, that's GFW by EW, okay? So weight percent of Fe2 FeO is given as 8.29 percentage plus 2.05 and the conversion factor of Fe2O3 is 0.8998. And if you solve this, it will come around here 10.13. These are the conversion, FeO total is 11.26% and Fe2O3 total is 10.13%. So let's move to the next one. If phase basalt has 12% of FeO total, here FeO total is given as 12%, and there is a formula. What is the formula? That is FeO by FeO total is 0.85, okay? That's written in the book. So what will be the FeO value? That's FeO total is given as 12% into 0.85. But it is not the actual FeO value, okay? It came around 10.02%. Actually the FeO total is 0.85. Actually the FeO total is 12 na, and we got the FeO as the remaining FeO is 10.80. Then what will be the actual FeO? The FeO will be overall FeO total, that's 12 minus 10.20%, okay? So we'll get around 1.80%. It will be your FPO. And then how to calculate the FPO, Fe to O3? You need to multiply it with the conversion factor of FeO. So I told you the conversion factor of FeO is what? 1.333. It's your CF of FeO, right? 1.1113 into 1.1113. So it will come around 1.99 percentage. So this question was asked in NET. Session NET. I don't think they will ask us a question, but you can also go through this question I am given. So let's move to the next one. An igneous rock contains 25% or 2.50% of TiO2. TiO2 is given as 2.50 percentage. Fe2O3 is given as 8.1 percentage. Sorry, 1.50. FeO is given as 8.1 percentage. Okay, and it wants to calculate the Fe by Ti total. So, like, how to calculate? You can here Fe means you have to calculate Fe in Fe2O3 first. Then you need to calculate Fe in FeO. Then add them. Then Fe by Ti. Okay. So, like, I am directly using the conversion factor. Okay. You can if you know the weight of like Fe2O3, Fe1, Fe, you can do that. Then find Fe in Fe2O3, then multiply into 1.50. And in case of Fe, find the Fe in FeO first, then multiply 8.1. So for what is the Fe in FeO? Fe in Fe2O3. What will be the amount of Fe in Fe2O3? That is your 55.85 is the weight of Fe into 2 divided by 2 into 55.85 in plus 48, right? So this is your what? This is your conversion factor. That is Fe in Fe2O3 is your conversion factor. The upper one is your gram formula weight, the lower one is your what equivalent weight of the Fe2O3. So if you solve this one, it will come around here. The same thing. That's 0.6994. If for Fe and Fe2O3, for the conversion factor of Fe is 0.6994 for Fe2O3. Then you need to calculate in whole the rock, no? Then you need to multiply it into what 1.50. That will come around here 1.049. If you're not getting, then don't worry. This is not necessary. But like it is not necessary for now, but it will help you in future. So 55.85 divided by 55.85 plus 16 equals to 0.7773 into it is given as 8.1. That is your 6.296. What will total Fe here? 1.049 plus 6.296. So Fe will be around here 1.36 7.345%. Similarly, Ti and TiO2 would be 48 by 48.32 plus O2 means 32 into 2.50. No, I am directly multiplying. It is given 2.50, right? 2.50. It will come around. This is basically weight of Ti, and this is basically equivalent weight of TiO2. Okay, this is 1.50 percentage. So now Fe we got it as 7.35, and this Ti is 1.50, and it asks to calculate Fe by Ti value. So Fe is 7.345 percentage by 1.50 percentage. So answer will be 4.89 percentage. So next one, consider the soluble product of barite. So barite is given. That's BaSO4. If we broke this, it will give rise to Ba2 plus SO4 2 minus. And it is given that the soluble product of 25 degree and 1 bar is like 10 to the power minus 10. The solubility product is minus 10. The activities of Ba2 plus and SO4 2 minus are at Kp respectively. So Ba2 plus, I can write Ba2 plus SO4 2 minus. They are basically giving to solubility product of 10 to the power minus 10, right? So Ba2 plus is given as 0.5 into 10 to the power minus 5 plus SO4 is given as 10 to the power minus 6. It is a 10 to the power minus 10. So if I put 10 to the power minus 6 this side, so it will become 10 to the power minus 10 minus 0.5 into 10 to the power minus 5. So if I if I took log on the both sides, if I took logarithm on the both sides, it will become log of 10 minus 6 equal to log of 10 to the power minus 10 minus 0.5 into 10 to the power minus 5, right? So you know what is log a minus b? That is log a by b. And what is log a plus b? That is log a into b, right? These are the basic things, okay? You'll study it in your 12th or 10th time. Okay, so now and there is another thing. If something log x to the power 10 is given, then 10 will go to this side, then it will become 10 log x. Okay, this is also a formula, not formula, is a trick. So minus x log 10 minus x log 10 equals to log 10 to the power minus 10 divided by 0.5 into 10 to the power minus 5. So log 10 is 1, so minus x equal to log 10 to the minus 10 by, so it will be something, so minus x will be minus 4.69, so x will be 4.69. okay, so this will be your answer. I think your question, all questions are over. I don't think any question remained in your geochemistry and reductivity part. So thank you everyone for your patience. And
Thank you, sir.
do you have any doubt?